for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by Talking Rocks Cavern. Explore the beauty above and below ground at Talking Rocks Cavern. And the Springfield Greene County Park Board, reminding you to go play. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a great week so far. We're at the midway point, so let's get your day started with some news.
All right. It's 2 years in federal prison for the owner of Affordable Towing. Dennis Cleveland pleaded guilty to illegally tampering with the emissions controls on 12 of his tow trucks. Investigators with the EPA say that released major pollution. Now he is spending time in prison for that because it violates the Clean Air Act. It's interesting. I feel like I sort of know him because I've interviewed him so many times. I got to tell you, I mean, he pleaded guilty, so clearly he did what he was not supposed to do. But I just know how much he does for the homeless community, like in his neck of the woods, like near his business, and it's truly remarkable. So, I don't know. I'm a little sad for him, but
Well,
if
I
I
was
know him
I
like
was
I think, he's making lemonade. So,
I was surprised that it was 2 years in prison for something that wasn't a violent act.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like there are people who commit violent acts that don't spend 2 years in prison. So I don't know. I was surprised by that. It seemed like a lengthy sentence. State of Missouri is trying to get $500,000 in federal money to study new routes for Amtrak trains in the state. One of those routes the state is looking at is possibly between Springfield and Kansas City. Currently, there are not any Amtrak stations in Southwest Missouri. You have to go 120 miles or so before the nearest one is there. So we'll see what happens. It's just a study at this point, possibly.
That's
So
interesting,
we'll see.
though. Yeah. All right. The Glendale high school football player who lost his senior year of eligibility just went before a judge. Kylan Mabins was deemed ineligible to play because he transferred from Kickapoo to Glendale, and Misha said it was purely for football reasons. And they say that they have the proof of that. Mabins, however, said it was because of racial discrimination happening at Kickapoo, although no word yet on exactly what happened or what was said for him to say that. The rule is if an athlete transfers, they do have to sit out of sports for 1 year post transfer. The Mabins family is arguing their case in court for a judge to decide. Some school athletic leaders took the stand telling the court that they did not recall racial discrimination being mentioned when the initial transfer paperwork came in. However, the judge is now going to decide that case and is expected to make a quick ruling possibly later this morning. So we'll keep you posted.
Okay. If you're looking for a seasonal job, Amazon is a company that's already looking to hire for Christmas. They need about 250,000 additional employees for the holidays, nationwide, of course, not just in Springfield. It'll be full-time, part-time, seasonal, and transportation jobs. They pay between $17 and $28 an hour. More than that for some of the drivers. Need a special license and all of that. But
Yeah.
if you're looking for a job through the holidays, Amazon may be the place for you.
Yeah. 250,000 additional employees. Think about that.
They're expecting to be busy.
It's wild.
And it's weird because a lot of that is automated. A lot of the warehouse stuff is automated. So, but
Is it though?
I guess it's a lot of drivers. Yeah.
Okay.
A company from New York is moving its headquarters to St. Louis. Company is Latch Incorporated, but it's changing its name now to Door.com. It's a business that manufactures locks for apartments and then the software to run the locks. CEO is Jamie Siminoff, the guy who invented the Ring doorbell and then sold his company to Amazon. He initially took that doorbell camera invention to the TV show Shark Tank. So if you watch Shark Tank, you've no doubt seen that episode where all the sharks passed. They said, I don't think so. That doesn't sound like such a great idea. He changed the name to Ring, and bam, everybody has one. It became so huge, in fact, Ring doorbells, that Siminoff was invited to sit in as a guest shark on the show Shark Tank. So he had the last laugh there. Now he's working at Door.com as the CEO, and Door.com is moving to St. Louis in the next few months. So
Good for him. I love Shark Tank, and yeah, they missed a big one with that guy, but
yeah.
sounds like he's better off for it. So, Drury University's interim president. I can't talk today. Watch out. I don't know subject verb agreement. Sorry about that. The interim president is, as it turns out, a huge donor as well. Very cool. John Berline and his wife are giving $1.5 million to Drury's $50 million capital campaign. How about that? The
Wow.
donation will go toward the Heritage Building Fund, which will improve the campus experience for students and for pay for annual grants over the next 5 years for different student projects. And get this, he is not taking a paycheck from the university either. So instead, spending that money on the university, which is just pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. I was just over at Missouri. I took Griffin with me because I had to go. There's a group there that did a check presentation. They did a
Where were
fundraiser for
you?
huh?
Where were you?
In
You
Missouri
said I
State.
was just in Missouri for, you didn't
Oh,
say state.
Missouri State, Missouri State, on campus. Last night, they were donating to Convoy of Hope. They did a fundraiser, and it was super cool. So I got to go there, and I went to Glass Hall, which is really cool. They built a facade outside it that is super cool. And then I was pointing to Griffin because I took him with me, and I was pointing to the top of that. The fourth floor has like an area that juts out, and then there's glass, and it's an office or something. So I said, "Man, how'd you like to have that office, knowing that there's nothing but below you that high up?" And then that's exactly where we went. It's apparently an executive boardroom, and they did the presentation in there. So I was nervous, thinking that the bottom was going to drop off, but we made it. And but it was a very, very nice building, and it just reminded me of being on campus somewhere back the college days, and what a fun time that was. So that's
Yeah,
my
that's cool. My
point.
sister actually works at Drury. So I've been to Drury's campus a million times for her. And then we did swimming there for a while. But we do have nice college campuses in Spring Patch, you know?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
really are.
That
So,
was the point of my story, was that I was on a college campus, and it
yeah.
reminded me of college. Yeah.
And it's funny though that you were there, and then you were looking at the glass floor building, because if there's any room that you personally, since I know you, would not have wanted to be in, it would be that one.
Yeah, well, the floor wasn't glass, but it was Glass Hall. That's the name of the hall, and it
Yeah.
was a deck area that
Yeah,
was
that's
very
fun.
yeah.
All right. Well, it may be a fake Christmas tree, but it's almost certain to be more cost effective long term. Springfield city leaders are looking at replacing the real city Christmas tree on Park Central Square with a 65-foot fake one that is reusable. The city was presented with a $15,000 donation for a fake tree. The real tree varies in size and beauty from year to year. As you know, just depends on the growing season. As for the cost, Springfield Business Journal crunched some numbers, and so I stole this from them, but they said that it's about $6,000 every year to obtain and transport the tree. And in addition to that, it's about $30,000 for
Oh,
light installation in and around the tree, which is way higher than I would have
e
guessed that to be.
every
Anyway, the
year.
council will now vote, yeah, on whether to accept that donation from the Hatch Foundation, and if so, then use that toward the purchase of a 65-foot fake one.
Hmm, okay.
Interesting, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
it is.
the fake one probably looks amazing these days because they're so great, at recreating fake to make it look so real, but you got to store it too. Where do you store that thing in the city? I mean, I've been in all the
Well,
buildings. I'm sure
they
that they
got
have some space that I'm unaware of, but goodness
yeah,
gracious.
they have warehouses, but yeah, I mean, that would make sense. We have a fake tree, and it's easier and, I don't know, probably more cost effective. I don't know how much real trees are, but I would think so. Certainly
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. Um for whatever reason, I mean, that's a lot to light it and transport it, but I'm pretty sure isn't it always donated to the city by different families who have tree farms? I feel like I remember that.
I think
Um,
that's true. Yeah.
yeah, so but still a lot with, the transportation and the lighting. So, anyway. All right. Well, pickleball is all the rage and a professional level player is bringing a new pickleball complex to Marionville,
Hmm.
which I think if you don't know Marionville, just southwest of Springfield. Anyway, it's going to be called the Pickleball Warehouse, and it is supposed to open at the beginning of October. It's going to have 7 courts. They will have lessons there. They're going to be able to host tournaments, different leagues. So I'm sure they'll make their money back because it is a popular sport indeed.
Interesting. They're betting on it to not just be a fad and to be around for a while. But I think that's probably going to be the case.
I think so too.
Enough.
I mean, Drury is building that new Panther pad with new pickleball courts. I mean, Meadow Park now has pickleball courts that always have, I mean, when you drive by, it seems to always have people on them. I mean,
Yeah.
and there are many more, but Springfield just had the big tournament where, a lot of people came in from outside of the area to play pickleball. So I think it's here to stay.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Smaller
tried
court
it.
than tennis, so you don't have to move as much. So that's helpful for certain populations of people. One of them I'm looking at right now.
Hey, listen,
Um,
I don't want to. We tried pickleball, but I got to bend. I have a long torso, so I have to. If the ball doesn't bounce high enough, I'd rather play tennis because the ball bounces higher. Otherwise, I'm leaning over the whole time, and I don't enjoy that.
yeah. Yep. You do have
That
a
said,
long
I've never
torso.
played for real. I've just played with family stuff, like you
Yeah.
guys. You guys, the kids,
What's
you.
that supposed to mean?
Well, I'm just saying, I've never played with anybody who's ever played it for real.
Okay. Well, maybe we should try.
All right.
Because to be honest with you, I kind of thought the same thing. I've never played with someone who's a real player either.
Oh, really? I'm pretty sure I was pretty close to a real player when I was
But
in
I
it.
will tell you, my hand-eye coordination, I feel like I
It's
can pick up
terrible.
most sports pretty well, but I am kind of a feet endurance type, you know,
Yeah.
athletic person, not so much a softball player. I think I only ever hit a single. I mean, don't worry, I get on base, but never pass the pitcher, these sorts of things.
Yeah, you can't play softball or volleyball, anything like that.
Yeah. Well, but I was hoping for pickleball. I mean, because I can move my feet fast.
All right.
That's got to mean something.
We'll see.
Something.
It was
All
wet,
right. Well,
a
that's
lot of
it.
rain, a lot of rain last night. Maybe some more rain today. So check in with Abby Dyer, Abby's wake up forecast, wherever you get your podcast, and she'll
We will
tell you
do it. We
what's
love Abby
doing for the
Dyer.
day.
Okay. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Adios.